Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Random Encounters. The end. Nice seeing you. I'll be back next week. No, 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 no. This is a show where I, Stan, uh, world famous cartoonist, you know, internet famous cartoonist maybe, do improv cartooning. We use random encounter tables like you see uh, in role playing games, tabletop role playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, which I worked on for a number of years, and randomly select a character and a situation. Whatever the dice say, I do. And I just realized that I'm not quite as ready as I usually am because I didn't turn on my dice maker, my dice roller. Okay, there we go. That's good. Easy to do, even while I talk to you. Anyway, this is a show that is near and dear to my heart, and I'm glad that we have a growing audience, including you who are watching there, and I know you're out there. Um, and yeah, I don't know what else to say except that we've got to go to the dice before anything interesting will happen. So let's go to the dice. I'm going to come over here, and I am going to do what I normally do here, and there we go. There are our encounter tables for the day. Our who's and our what's. Our bonus board in case I roll the same number twice. Although in many cases, I will turn to you in the audience and ask for your input. And if we ever start drawing big crowds, I may even do away with these random encounter tables entirely and let you guys have the say. Be like an improv comedy show, only it's live and it's drawings instead of people uh, pantomiming on stage. Anyway, let's see what we got going on here. So we're going to now go over to the die roller. And as you see, I've got a little six-sided die in there, and I'm going to do something very much like this. I'm going to roll the dice once, twice, and third time, and what it comes up is the number I will use. So in this case, I would have used a 3, except this is an example. Now we're going to do it for real. So here we go. Once, twice, and third time is a charm, and it comes up a 1. What do we got over here on the ones? On the ones, we have a vampire. Oh, I think we had a vampire in I think it was the very first thing I ever rolled on the first episode. And I took the vampire out of circulation after that. Bring him back. First thing that happens, vampire again. All right. So what is our vampire doing though? That's the question here. So once again, we're gonna go once, twice, and third time is a charm, and it says 2. Now, when I put this together, there were a couple of things that I thought would be weird, like sunbathing would be. I already had some ideas in my head what I do if vampire and sunbathing came up. That seems a weird one. Vampire and river rafting. We're going to have to ignore some vampire lore, which says that they can't cross running water. Well, I guess they're not crossing it if they're in it. But that's what we're going to draw first. First drawing of the day is going to be the vampire on doing river rafting. Vampire river rafting. All right, so I'm going to go to my sketch stage and very quickly zoom in here and set a base level for the water and river rafting. I actually like tubing better than rafting, so I think I will have vampire. Tubing. There we go. That's a pretty good layout there for our tubing vampire. Maybe we'll get another vampire in another tube over here. And then I can take out my. Strange that I put that river in and now I'm wishing it wasn't there, so I can play around with things a little bit more. Let us take this vampire, make him a little bigger over here, and then we can take this other vampire, who I haven't drawn yet, and move them over a little and put them in the background a little more. Alright, so we're going to have another vampire there, also tubing. And how to do this. I think we will, yeah, I just want to have an idea in my head that I don't want to say out loud. I'd rather surprise you with it. Go. Okay. That's looking good. Now let's get in there with some inks and draw that. Ooh. Oh, you know what? I already know what I'm doing wrong. Can anyone else guess what it is that I'm doing wrong right now? Oh, it's frozen up. Tell you what I was doing wrong. I was drawing on the sketch layer, and thank goodness it didn't take. Anyway, here we go. Back in. Let's try this again. Ooh. Go. And the vampire's got one long hand off here in the water. This little inner tube. And long fingers. wondering how I was going to make that leg crossing over thing work. I didn't really fully think that out. Those seem like good decorations for a vampire bathing suit. And then I'm going to make the brush a little smaller for drawing in the background. Hmm. Got a nice little vampiress. Have I closed that off enough to just fill it? I did. Okay, awesome. Oh, good for me. Just diving into the water. Because, why not? Let's see what we've got going on here. Make my brush a little larger, come back, because I know I didn't finish him off quite the way I wanted to. And then we've got a little, some hills in the background. Moon hanging above. It's a lovely night to go river rafting. Okay. That's pretty good, I think. All right, so we'll come in, add some quick colors, and make this work. Um, if you are in the chat room for this, welcome. Certainly glad to have you here. I have a. I should be seeing what's in the chat room. So far, I'm not seeing anything. I do know that we sometimes have problems where particularly if someone is on Facebook, that what they type doesn't get translated over here. So if you are typing things to me, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just not seeing it. If you want to participate in chatting, it is really easier, more easily done if you're on YouTube. Uh, it's not me particularly promoting YouTube as much as it's me admitting that Facebook, for some reason, makes it difficult. More difficult than it needs to be. And if you're not chatting, that's fine too. You don't have to chat. You can just sit here and be entertained. I am here to entertain you. Let me entertain you. Hello, Dale. We've given him a squeezy bag of blood. It's it's like a Capri Sun, only it's a Capri AB negative. And our vampiress is taking a big leap. Trying to think about what color I want the shorts to be. Something, fun. Do some quick coloring in here. And think what color they might make the top of the inner tubes. Probably something bright, since these things mostly are made for rescue and just being turned into fun time implements. There we go. How are you doing tonight, Dale? How are things out your way? Is summer still hot and unbearable in the Midwest? I just got back from being in the DC area for a week or so. This was before, I guess, last show I'd already gotten back. But I think it It took me a full week to actually recover from that trip. My body is just uh, not as quick to recover as it used to be, and things like the aches from sitting in an airplane seat for 6+ hours twice in the course of a week just kind of really took me for a loop. I'll tell you right now, I'll be honest, my shoulder is still a little sore, which is only partially because of the airplane trip. I'd thrown it out of whack before the trip. The trip just didn't let it heal up right. Okay. Oops. There we go. Just drop a few stars in the night sky. Nope, not there, because that would be behind the moon. I remember doing that uh, on a comic page I did once that had a crescent moon, and I filled this area in with stars that you could see behind it. And some friends had to remind me that just because it looks like a crescent, uh, this isn't Looney Tunes. There's actually moon back there. All right, so let's take this and we're going to drop. So you see me do this before. I guess I'll make sure you can see while I do it. All those colors, I picked them because I like them, but it turns out they're stronger. I see them softer in my head. I see them in the version I'd like them to be. If I drop down the opacity and allow some of that white to shine through, then I get to keep the color I want at the intensity that I want. In this case, how far did I drop that? Ooh, up that a full 30%. And then I'll come along here and I will stick my little stand on the corner, and we can say we've got a first drawing done. All right, vampires river rafting. Not bad. Dale says we're good. The weather is quite agreeable right now. Very little smoke. Yes, smoke. Oh man, everywhere, everywhere. If you're not in the wildfire area, it's uh, it's smoking you out. Getting old sucks. Dale comments, I'm sure, to make me feel better. Yes, I agree. Getting old sucks. On the other hand, it's better than the other option. I'll take this any day. All right, so let's come back here, and we'll turn that off and come back and turn back on our tables, and let's go do another drawing. Let's see what the dice have in store for drawing number 2. We're going to go once, twice, and third time is a charm, and 6, which is our adventurers. I keep the adventurers on 6 so I always remember it. That means Dale, I'm going to call on you again, and I have a feeling I hear your gnome warming up. But let's see what the adventure's doing. Once, twice, third time, 3 adventurers sunbathing. That's really similar. Last time I got adventurers at the beach. And I say the dice don't lie. We got to go with the dice. But there's a lot of room in here for interpretation. So, adventurers sunbathing. Now, Let me just think for a second what I want to do about that. Dale, do you have any ideas, or anyone else who's watching? I see by our little, my little icon up here, there are some other folks who are tuning in. Feel free to join in the chat and give a suggestion. What kind of thing might we draw with adventurers sunbathing? Come here to round 2. We're going to go to the sketch layer where we'll start. All right, I'm going to turn off. Got to turn off the tables first, and now we can do that. All right. Well, let's see. I guess for one thing, we're going to want a beach umbrella, big beach umbrella. So it doesn't have to be at the beach, does it? It could be at the pool. Although I've got public pool is another choice there. Well, we'll start with the umbrella and see if I want to change that later on. Sunbathing. I have one adventure here. Reading a book. Another adventure here. There we go. Okay, let's see. I'm beginning to have an idea. Okay, let's pull that back a little. And then we're going to have something popping up out of the sand. What can we have popping up out of the sand? Dwarf on a mountaintop? That would be fun too. I guess we could just have some kind of unnamed tentacled creature coming out of the thing. And what might be nice is if it was handing her over some suntan lotion. No, just because it's a tentacled creature doesn't mean that he's mean or bad. I tell you, Dale, I'm sitting here thinking about the dwarf on the mountaintop idea and wishing I'd seen that 15 seconds before I started drawing here. That's a good one. But I can fix that. Okay. Okay. That's looking good. Let's go in and finish that. I think you've probably got a pretty good idea of what it is that I'm drawing here, but that's all right. the trick here is our sunbathers trying to not get any uh, armor lines. Trying to get that shoulder to work out right so that it's clear what's going on. It's a little challenging, but this wouldn't be fun if it wasn't a little challenging. Okay. So now I'm thinking about things like the SPF. What if it counted negative, like armor class, AC -10? Now that's an old joke, of course, because armor class no longer counts negative. But, no one ever went wrong making a joke for old gamers, he said with complete irony. And then over here, I'm going to come back, use a slightly smaller brush so I can get some extra detail in. We'll get your dwarf in there anyway, Dale. Little summer reading. Okay. It's looking okay. And I'll put that back up again so I can draw the umbrella. The umbrella will come down here. So we can see where it goes in the ground. Scrub brush in the background. Like so. Yeah, turn off the sketch lines, and that's looking pretty good. Let me come in here and maybe fix that a little bit. All right. And we'll go to the color section pretty quick. You'll see that I have particular colors I tend to go to. Really need to fight that urge to give dwarves that mostly balding and orange hair all the time. That's just my go-to. Now, part of that is, anytime you're doing cartooning, you need the shortcuts. You want people to look at what you're drawing and um, be able to pick up a lot more information than you really can cram in. And in order to do that, you take shortcuts. You put in things that people expect to see. But downside of that, of course, is that then you wind up being very culturally thin. And I would rather not do that personally. Or really, I would like to make an effort to be more inclusive. All right. I'm going to make it a little easier on myself by putting this sand color in before I color the creature. Add some color here in the background. Oh yes, of course, forgot about uh, the umbrella. Go. All right. SPF AC minus 10. I'm very good at tushies. Well, we all have our skills, Dale. I do. One of the things I have done a lot of, I'm going to take a little pause as I talk about tushies for a second. I like to do when I was in art school. I really enjoyed the quick drawing um, exercises that we did, where you had a very short period of time to get a person's pose down. I think that helped a lot. Helps a lot with cartooning, just kind of getting a very good idea for how a body moves, what it'll do, how to draw it so it's not just standing there straight up and down. How it moves, how the weight carries, and how to do that in very quick, like do a single line that'll represent a posture and a weight, uh, not like a heaviness. You know what I mean. And part of that is getting the legs and the lower back, and it means drawing a lot of tushies. So I drew a lot of tushies. It's a lot of 1 and 2 line tushies. So I got very good at representing the rear side, the rear echelon. Also, I like big butts, and I cannot lie. Maybe I guess the way I draw them, you better say I like round butts, and I cannot lie. But you know, you know. All right, there we go. Let's come in here and fiddle with this a little bit. Just add a little. Again, if we just add this on, that creates a impression of shape and weight. So I wanted to come in here and go to the red and go to the pink. I could get some of the idea that she's getting sunburned. That's why our creature is offering her some SPF, AC minus 10. We'll choose a different color for the dwarf, which gives the, even though most of their skin is now exactly the same color, because I put these accents in a different shade, it changes the whole impression that your brain creates of what color their skin is. All right. So there's me and my good tushy. Drop another stand in there. And we got 2 drawings. Oh, you know what? I want to give that eye a little bit of no, wrong layer. There we go. All right, adventurers sunbathing, looking nice. That's our second drawing for the night. Let's do a third. Let's keep rolling. Close this out. Open up the tables one more time. And go back to the dice. I'm going to go once, twice, third time, and we get a 1. That's a vampire. I don't want to do another vampire. Thinking about what to do. Well, let's see what happens with the other guy. Once, twice, third time, and it's a 4. So let's just come back and look at what's going on the tables here. Now, Uh, one is a vampire, but one on the other side is mowing the lawn, which is kind of fun. And if we switch the four over, we would get a Myconid mowing the lawn. Or Dale and the other people who are still watching, I see you out there. You, you be quiet. You don't have to interact if you don't want to. I just want you to know. I see you. But if anyone has any suggestions that what they might like to see in this third drawing, either with the mowing the lawn or with a different creature that's not on there, I'm open to suggestions, and I will give you a second to think about that because I'm putting you on the spot right now. So I have to say, this show, I'm really happy with how this show, not this particular episode, but Random Encounters in general, very happy with how it's going. I'm trying to sort out some technical issues that might allow me to bring in other cartoonists at the same time, and we could both draw some of the ideas. So that may happen in the future if I can get the technical issues sorted out. In fact, it seems very likely. The technical issues are not that big. I'm most of the way through them, but I've got to figure that out. And then I've got to find some other cartoonists who might be interested in joining me in this. The other thing I'm thinking about is, although I'm not going to San Diego Comic Con is this weekend, and I won't be there, and Gen Con is in a couple of weeks, and I won't be there. I will start to go to conventions again sometime soon, and I think that this show would be an awesome event at a convention. But in order to convince a convention schedulers of that, I probably would have to show a little more activity in the live shows. So I'm going to ask you, my loyal listeners, my more loyal viewers, the people who are coming in and having fun, if you know someone who you think would enjoy this show, let them know. Spread the word. Once I try to post the link to the show early in the week so that you can sign up for it to get reminded, but that also means you could pass it around to other people. It would be very helpful for me if you guys could help to spread the word, and only if you're enjoying it, and only if you think people would enjoy it too. And it's a lot of people that I talk to about this still have no idea that I'm doing this every week, and have not been shy about promoting it. That's just how it goes. An Ankheg mowing the lawn. Random encounters at GaryCon. Dale suggests. Well, that could happen. And I know the folks that run it. Maybe I should reach out to Dave Conan and see who I would talk to about making that happen. That's a very good idea. Ankheg. Man, I have to admit that I have to... I gotta look up what an Ankheg looks like anymore. I only have the vaguest of ideas. So let's see. Normally, I don't do look for reference art, but if I'm going to consider doing this, I'm going to have to look up and see Ankheg. Oh, the big. Oh yeah. That'll do. Good idea, Dale. You win. Let's try and do an Ankheg. This ought to be fun. All right, we're going to come back, go to the sketch layer on level 3, and turn off the tables, and turn back on my sketch in blue. I thought that the Minotaur mowing the lawn was going to be a lot of fun, because I probably would have had him grazing. All right, that's roughly an egg. They're big insectoid creatures with big pincer claws. So, I want to make sure that I. Oh, this feels. I feel like there should be a gag to go with this. I think a burrowing creature mowing is very. So, I had an idea. Burrowing creatures mowing the underside of the lawn would be kind of funny. I'm sitting here. I've got visually an idea here, but my brain is telling me there's a joke, which would need me to add some people saying things. But I'd need to figure out what the joke is first. So I'm just going to sketch around here for another second or two while I think about this. Um, hmm, there's a joke in here. There's a joke, and I'm not thinking of it. I hate when that happens all the time. Oh, no. Man. Man, I know there's a joke in here. It kills me. All right, let's start drawing. Maybe I will come up with something as it comes along. All right. We've got big pincers on their face too. And of course the multifaceted eyes. Sorry about the bug eyes thing, Janine. I'll be in my office. Ghostbusters! Come on. Stay with me. Stay with me here. All right, that's looking pretty good. Pancake wise. Part of the trick to drawing insectoid bugs like this is to find ways to create shapes. There's the overall shape of the body, but if you don't want it to look like a big lump, you got to find these other shapes within it. Like the head here is broken down. We've got one, two, three, four, five, six different shapes that I had blocked out in order to get that head to look insectoid. And that's before I stuck the pincers on the mouth. Here on the back, I've made sure that I put wing shapes over everything else. But I still have at least one, two, three, four other shapes that are there to help give the creature, whatever it is, in this case it's an egg, but whatever insectoid creature you're doing, a feeling of having the chitinous armor, um, and you don't have to. You can get that feeling without putting in a whole lot of detail. And I haven't even drawn in any of the back legs. I'm just gonna put some shadowy representations that are similar to what the front legs are doing. All right. Now, take advantage again of the fact that Procreate allows me to very easily put in straight lines and get them at the angle I want them to be. All right, and let's start putting in the long grass. Long grass is a theme today too, although it was just in the background at the beach. I don't like that. So I want to come in and put short grass as individual blades. I was going to make it just a uniform row of cut blades, which I suppose if I were doing it more in a more in a less time crunched way, I probably would do something like that. With the idea being that he's manicuring this perfect lawn. Um, hmm, that might give me what I need for my gag idea. I may have just thought of something. Holy cats, people! I might have just thought of something. Let's move all that up a bit. And I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go back to my sketch layer so that I can add in something. You're going to be happy about this tail. All right. I'm not even going to write in. I'm still thinking about how the words need to be phrased. So I'm not even going to write them in a little. I'm going to go in and do the drawing first. Okay, good. And why is Dale going to be happy? Because we've got some gnomes.